What is going on, guys? Rewinds here, and in this video I'm going to be bringing you guys my review for chapter 75 of the Boruto Manga. I do apologize for this being really late, but if you guys saw my last video, I did say that I have been feeling under the weather lately, haven't been able to talk a lot, so I decided to wait till I felt better before I made this video. But I did want to make this video nonetheless because there is a lot to talk about with this chapter, and I'm excited to discuss it. So let's talk about where it started. The chapter started out with Eda's abilities being explained and revealed, that she is also 16 years old, so now we know her age. And it was also pointed out again that she can't see back with her Senrigan prior to her birth, which I'm glad they did that again because honestly I forgot about it, and it was a good little reminder. Next, Damon's abilities were explained. Apparently, his abilities can also be transferred to those that are currently touching him at the moment, which I thought was a nice little detail to include because I feel like that's going to come in handy for someone at some point in the future, especially if Damon and Eda are going to stay on the side of the Hidden Leaf Village. So Kawaki actually tests this Damon theory with the whole reflection stuff, and there was a funny panel where he pretty much ended up getting air slapped, and I thought that was probably the funniest panel in this chapter. Damon actually clowned Kawaki after that, which I also thought was funny. This kid's a complete troll. He really is. Amado then reveals that these abilities that Eda and Damon have come from a god named Otsutsuki Shibai. And this is probably the biggest revelation we get in this chapter. The mentioning of a new Otsutsuki. And the fact that he said an Otsutsuki god makes it even more interesting, especially when he expands on that more. Pretty much he reveals though after that Shibai is no longer with them and that only his remains remain now. And this gets you wondering as a reader, okay, where is, why is he no longer with them? Who defeated him? Did he die naturally? And how does Amado have his remains? A lot of questions came from that. He then shares, well, luckily also for us, the reader, Shikamaru, had a lot of questions for Amado because, Shikamaru is not super trusting, especially of Amado. So I did like that Shikamaru got some more answers out of him. Amado shares that Shibai cheated death for several millennia with karma resurrection and eventually devoured so many chakra fruit that it led to godhood. So pretty much it was said that Shibai is no longer of this dimension, pretty much. So I don't know if he's ever going to come back at some point in the future, or how they're going to do the whole thing with him if they plan on bringing him into the story, but he definitely seems to be at the top of the hierarchy list now, and just more cool lore for the series. Amado apparently used the remains of Shibai to implant abilities into the cyborgs that he created. This is a great explanation in my opinion because a lot of people wondered, how is this dude making these cyborgs that are so strong, and why didn't he make one to defeat Jigen, right? Because Eda and Damon, and maybe some other ones he has, could potentially be strong enough. Now we know how he got these cyborgs to be at this level, and it makes a lot of sense. Amado then says that Shibai could perform abilities without needing to weave signs, such as generate storms with a wave of a hand and calling forth thunderbolts with an angry roar. These abilities were given the name Shinjutsu. So, new form of jutsu revealed, and this is also big stuff for the whole verse in general. Some other examples of this are Kawaki's newfound abilities with his karma, and karma in general, as well as Code's claw marks. Apparently, ninjutsu are attempts now to reproduce the phenomena, quote unquote, of shinjutsu. So, ninjutsu is technically, in a sense, a bootleg version, I guess more so for humans. And That was an interesting reveal as well. I bet some people that don't like this god stuff might not like that, but I think it's a good way to expand the lore, especially if you're going into this whole god's domain territory of the story. So I think it makes plenty of sense. Shikamaru questions next what happened to Shibai. Amado predicted, since he doesn't know, that maybe he ascended to a dimension where a physical body isn't required. So I did mention that earlier. But yeah, that's the explanation for that. Amado says that Otsutsuki abilities give hope, such as to bring his daughter back. And this is another big reveal in this chapter. So then we cut over to Delta, who is trying to see Eda. Sarada tells her no, and a little after, Sumire shows up right in time to shut her down with their shutdown code. Next comes the big Amado reveal that his daughter, named Akebi, died from a disease that no drug could cure, that even the doctors had given up on her. So Amado found an alternative to this situation, and that would be making a clone. So after 9 months after his daughter's death, the clone was completed, and she had the same voice and same appearance and even the same memories, but yet it just wasn't like his original daughter. And that's where Amado's big dilemma comes into play here. And apparently Amado tried multiple times to make clones, but he could not recreate the same person. So these godlike abilities gave him hope that something could happen for him to get his daughter, how she was originally, back. After it hit him that his daughter was no longer existing as the same person, he ended up meeting Jigen shortly after, who said that he would reunite them if he helped his cause. Eventually, Amado though had to turn on Jigen after he learned of his chakra fruit plans. However, in his time with him, he learned of another means of resurrection, and that would be karma. Amado then says that he added Akebi's data to Kawaki's new karma, and all Kawaki has to do now is implant it into a clone. So maybe that's going to happen soon because he just made this new Delta, and maybe this could be something that leads to some sort of conflict. I don't know how well this is all going to sit with Kawaki, but there is more Kawaki information later in this chapter that we definitely got to talk about. But for now, we move on to the next part, where Shikamaru tells Eda to fact check all this information to be sure. Everyone, including Boruto and Naruto, think that this is too harsh because they don't think Amado would be lying about something like this, but Shikamaru really doesn't trust him and he wants to be really, really sure. Right then, now we're in probably like the span of the last 10 to 12 pages of the chapter. Right then, Momoshiki starts talking to Boruto, and it seems like their thoughts are linked now. At least that's what's implied. Momoshiki confirms to Boruto about Shibai's existence as well as Shinjutsu, but he says he doesn't know about Amado's daughter situation, which makes sense because, would Momoshiki really know Amado? He just visited Earth that one time for the Kaguya thing way back, and then everything went down. Momoshiki says that he's even aware of all the Shinjutsu that exists out there, and that Ida's Senrigan falls under it, but her love ability does not. So now, both Boruto and Momoshiki are wondering why Amado is lying about that, or if he's hiding something else. So we know what kind of character Amado's been. He has not provided answers for a while. He's been dodging in so many other instances, but now we did finally get a bunch of answers about him. But despite that, there's still some mystery behind him because he is lying about Eda. So what other ulterior motive could Amado have? If you have any predictions or theories, let me know in the comments below. But why would he be lying, or does he just simply not know? I don't think that's the case, but I think he's lying or hiding something for a reason, which is going to be revealed a little bit later down the road. Some people are also theorizing that maybe Amado is Shibai. I don't know about all that, but you never know what kind of plot twist they'll pull. Eda then confirms, though, Akebi's existence, so that clarifies some things. Next, to end off the chapter, Boruto and Momoshiki talk a little bit longer about thoughts leaking to each other, pretty much saying how they hated that they can hear each other's thoughts now and all that. And right then, though, Boruto actually gets a peek into the future, and he sees a chase for Kawaki. Team Inoshikacho's after him, Sarada's after him, and an angry Mitsuki is after him in Sage Mode. They are all confronting him. Crazy end to the chapter. So much information revealed for the story. Honestly, the best chapter I think I've seen of Boruto in I don't know how long. Great reveals. I really enjoyed the progression. A lot happened, and so much better than last few months, you know. So this was to me a perfect chapter. I know you can't get a chapter like this every month, but even if we could get, you know, half the kind of plot progression we got in this chapter, in each month's chapter, I feel like the pacing would feel so much better. But this chapter, I definitely got to give it a 10 out of 10. I think ever since I've been doing these reviews, I haven't given anything a 10 out of 10 for Boruto, chapter-wise. But this one definitely hit that standard. I really, really enjoyed it. Probably my favorite chapter since, you know, the peak of the code arc that just happened around that 65 to 67, 68 range, I think. But great stuff, great stuff. I really liked the reveal. A lot of questions to still be answered, though. And the question is, how is Kawaki gonna turn this way? You know, how are these guys gonna turn on him, and why are they chasing him? What could he have done? A lot of questions to still be answered, but we got some development on the Kawaki end. We also, there was a little part at the end of the chapter where Eda kind of noticed that Boruto was shooken up by something, so maybe Eda's gonna figure something out soon, that Boruto's talking to Momoshiki or something of the sort. I don't think Eda can see their conversations. I'm pretty sure about that, but correct me if I'm wrong. But definitely a chapter that I recommend reading if you guys have not read it for yourself and are just watching this review for whatever reason. Definitely check it out. All in all, though, like I said, 10 out of 10. Hopefully they keep it rolling next month. And I think this chapter actually ended the most recent volume, so we're just going to move on to the next volume now. And for those of you that are wondering about the time skip, unfortunately, I don't think that's coming anytime soon. But yeah, that's going to wrap up this one. If you guys did enjoy the video, though, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel if you guys are new. I hope you guys have a good day or night whenever you guys are watching this video. I'm Rewinds, and I'm out.